3, 2, and 1.
Tired of wiping on the same boss for hours?
Die, insect.
Can't seem to win against that new druid deck?
My thanks to you.
Are your teammates not standing on the payload?
Quit lollygagging. Get on the payload.
Well, grab a drink and pull up a chair. This is the Game Case Show, your Blizzard Entertainment podcast. Here are your hosts, Cuddles and Turarts.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 99 of the Game Case. I'm Chris, also known as Cuddles. I'm a Brewmaster Monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild.
And I'm Turarts, a Beast Mastery Hunter, also in the Convert to Raid Guild on the Airy Peak server.
This week, we're going to talk a little bit about our week in gaming. We're going to answer some questions from the Cuddle crew, and then we're going to be talking to the Steve Zissou of Stack Up. That's right, interns. You have to share the Glock. Skatch, how are you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
We're both very excited to have you on and talk Stack Up. But before we get there, you've taken time out of your full schedule to talk to us. So tell us about your week of life. How did that go?
Tell about my what?
Your week of life. Like, what'd you do? Anything exciting?
Oh, my goodness. Work. Actually, no, I was sick, so I'm not going to bore everybody out there, but I'll just say it, man. I had a kidney stone. It was an awful weekend. So, I'm feeling much better now, though.
Well,
Modern science.
I, for one, am extremely glad you're feeling better. Been thinking about you all weekend. That is not something that I would wish on my worst enemy. It's definitely.
Oh, no, it's a little rough.
Oh, I'm sure. Knock on wood, I've yet to have one, although with my penchant for ignoring anything healthy, I'm sure it's going to happen at some point.
It's inevitable.
Yes, this sounds like one of the things that would happen to me. So, Sketch, why don't you kick off what you've been doing this week? Have you been able to play any games? Have you done anything in the world of gaming?
Yeah, so we were recently at PAX West, and while we were there, I'm going to fail on remembering this guy's name, but we had an opportunity to chat out in the smoking pit, as we call it, with one of the developers of State of Decay. So I went ahead and reinstalled that, and I've been kind of poking around in that game, just sort of remembering how good that was, and looking forward to playing it with another person. Like, the only thing that game is missing is co-op, one of the best zombie games ever. And it still holds up. Like, I was just having a blast taking zombies out and building up my base.
So zombie game, like, remind me about this, because I've heard of this game. I don't think I've ever played it.
So State of Decay is when you go in, rather than controlling one guy, you have a group of survivors. And you can swap between each individual survivor. And as you're out there with that survivor, you gain them experience, they get better. If they die, you lose that survivor. And you go back and do one of the other ones. But your survivors get tired, and after a while, you have to rest them and take another one out. And while you're doing that, you're also building up your base, making your base better, things like that, with the eventual goal of fixing an RV and getting out of the area.
Oh, nice. I'm going to have
Supposedly
to check this out.
If you've never played
State of Decay 2
yeah, that's the one I'm talking. Like, that's the one I'm waiting for because it has co-op. The first one does not have multiplayer. That's the only thing that really is. It's kind of a downer with it, but it is one of the best zombie games I've ever played. It is Walking Dead, the video game. You make the hard choices. Do you go after food or do you go rescue more survivors? Do you have enough food to take on more survivors? Do you trust those people? Could they be bad people? Could one of them turn on you?
It's not too bad on Steam. This might be happening.
It's a hell of an interesting game.
Well, that's what I was able to talk to the same gentleman that you spoke with. I talked to him. He was waiting to talk to Steve at the partner lounge. And I got to spend like 5-10 minutes talking to him. Got a little bit of swag. Thanks for that, gentleman whose name I cannot remember. But he was a really, really cool guy. And like, I'm sorry, but if I don't interact with somebody at least 15 to 23 times, I am horrible with names. Like,
man.
I still struggle with like people that I know at these, like the one gentleman from Triple Point that does some of their media, or he does some of the promotion. The guy, he's like the little emo looking guy. He has a lip ring. He was with Space Wars at East. You remember that at all?
Well, look, you remember the game more than the face. I mean, no, I totally get you. It's hard to remember names, Jeff. I don't remember half the people I know.
Exactly. Jeez. T, what about you? You been doing any games?
I've been doing a little bit of games. PUBG is life. Cuddles and I have done some of that, and then I just did a little bit with Chaos and Infrared Mike, and yeah, PUBG's life, guys. It's so much fun. But Elite Dangerous, there's some big patch coming out that I still don't quite understand. There's some big bad aliens. Again, I have 6 hours in this game, but I can land like a mother trucker now. Got that down, and I can make my ship go like this a lot easier. There's a better word than my emotions for those of you at the audio listening. This is great, but no, Elite Dangerous is great. So I've been doing that, and then a little bit of Dead by Daylight. It was free on Xbox Live, so I was like, let's check this out. That looked like it would be a fun game if you had a group of people to go in, like as a group and play.
Is that where it was free? Somebody told me that Dead by Daylight was free on Steam right now.
It was free on Steam this weekend too.
Oh, it was okay. Yeah, it was just a free to play weekend, so it must have been all platforms.
Hold on. Okay, so was it a free to play weekend, or is the game actually free?
Xbox Live is free to play weekend.
Okay.
So I'm assuming Steam might be the same. I'm loving this.
Sketch is in a box. We put Skatch in a box.
We did. We did that to our guests. But
Oh.
yeah, that looks like it would be. Well, you've heard of the game, Cuddles. Well, you've seen people play it probably too, because everyone's streaming it. But yeah, it can get pretty intense.
Oh yeah, I when it first came out, I played a lot of it. Dead by Daylight. I absolutely love that game. It's something that I'd like to get back into. I've been waffling between loading that up and purchasing Friday the 13th. Which I'm pretty excited about that game. I know it had a rough start, but I've heard that they've done some wonderful things, and that's the game I want to play. Like I'm a huge like Jason fan, so that would entirely be my yeah.
I was always Michael. I was always the Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you see what's coming out in?
Yes, and I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Oh, I love it.
I love Jamie Lee Curtis though, but yes. Completely off topic.
For those that
Do
totally
we
didn't
need more
understand
Halloween?
Turarts and I were not
Yes.
wordsing there. Halloween is coming out with a new one in 2018, and Jamie Lee Curtis is starring.
I know.
Like, do we need another one though? Like, my God, like
Yes.
I don't know.
We
Wait,
need
wait.
all of them. We
Like-
need Halloween in space. We need Halloween meets
Can
Mothra.
you imagine
We need-
that? Like a Dead Space, but with Michael. Like, can we make this happen?
Jason kind of already did that. They did Jason X.
I know we did. Yeah.
Jason X. That was good. I liked it. It was horrible, but it was good for what it was.
I always, and if there's a movie, well, then we'll get back on topic. If there's a movie out there I haven't seen it, I always wanted a movie with Jason, Michael, and Freddy. All three of them. Because you fall asleep and you think you're safe, and then there's Freddy.
There is Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, there's that, but I want all three of them.
I would go watch that. I would go watch that in theaters.
We can shows again. Cuddles, how was your week of gaming?
I think they did a comic book that was Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, the Army of Darkness.
Oh, Bruce Campbell action? That's how the movie ends. Bruce Campbell just comes and just cuts the mother truckers.
He just walks up with an axe and just takes care of both of them. Hey, Jess.
I've seen this before. Get an axe.
Don't worry, I got this. Gaming, me, I did it. It was a thing. A whole
No, you
lot. I did. I
Picture it
did.
didn't happen.
I played a significant amount of PUBG, a possibly unhealthy amount of PUBG, and then played some more PUBG. I actually just got back from my very first LAN party over in DeLand, Florida, with the wonderful Quad Capable. If anybody here watches Twitch and you're not following Quad Capable, you should. He's a quadriplegic Marine that plays video games with a controller he operates with his mouth, and he's damn good at them.
Hell yeah, he is.
Like, he's better than me, which is not saying much, but he's better than me at PUBG, and considerably better. It's incredible. He's a super, super cool guy. He opened up his home to the Orlando Stack, which is a local group. We'll get more into that later. That Stack Up has in Orlando, and there was, I don't know, about 10 of us there. There was about 10 of us there playing and landing and doing all sorts of fun stuff. So it was a good time. We had burgers, and there were cats. There was a lot of cats. There was only 3, but I feel like that's a lot. There was
we
a
had
cloister.
burgers, and there were cats. I don't know if that's...
We did not have cat burgers.
Okay, thank you.
We did not have cat burgers.
All right, I needed to check.
Yes, and we did. We actually, I was at Quad's house about 3 weeks ago. Uniform brought it up in chat. We actually delivered a PC to Quad. He was running on an old busted ass laptop, so we built him a pretty nice gaming rig, and yeah, it was pretty cool. Outside of PUBG, I did a little bit of Hearthstone off stream. And I booted up, but didn't do much in World of Warcraft. So I'm wanting to get back to World of Warcraft. And,
Argus is amazing.
Yeah, I like everybody's jumping back in. I got really pumped about it.
How about that Warcraft party?
That's what I was gonna say. So there was a World of Warcraft party at PAX West for Shadows of Argus.
Specifically, yeah, I was gonna say specifically for Argus.
And they played the cinematic. And I'd already seen it. You guys have all seen it. But if you've ever been to a BlizzCon, you know the magic of watching that with other people. And the feeling in that room and just the excitement and the, like, it was like a tiny sliver of what you get during opening ceremonies at BlizzCon. And it was awesome. I will be back in Warcraft a lot more actively. I've been logging in and doing like some pet battles and stupid shit like that. But I want to get my guy geared back up and get back with my Rubber Chicken Coalition and get back into some...
Maybe I'll come and teach you how to druid.
Teach me how to druid. Teach me how to druid. Teach me how to... You ain't messing with my druid.
I can heal the raid with no mana bar. No mana bar. No mana bar.
Oh my gosh, this is what happens when you get Skatch and I together.
I love it.
That's probably enough of that. We don't have any questions for the from the Cuddle Crew this week. If you guys would like to submit questions in the future, you can go to bit.ly/Cuddles Discord. That's bit.ly/Cuddles Discord. Never mind. No?
No. Keep going. I have something to add about the future. Keep going.
Okay, and we have a future.
We do.
So T's going to talk about that. Hashtag pro segue.
For next week's episode, and we're going to talk about this again at the end of the show for those of you that maybe just like pop in and listen to half of it or whatever, we're hitting episode 100. If you can math, 99 plus 1 is 100. And I know Cuddles loves when I bring up math on the show, so that's why I do it. But if you have not necessarily questions, but comments for us during the show, we're going to do an 8-hour stream, things of like, I don't know, I don't want to say words of wisdom, but words of encouragement, compliments. It feels really awkward telling you guys to give us compliments, but if you want to, for episode 100, put them in the questions of the show segments of the Discord, and then we'll get them read out throughout the night. So a little different next week. Not necessarily questions, but if you want to say something.
All right. Yeah, if in any way and I have no idea what T is planning. She has something up her sleeve that I know nothing about. But if the show has ever like affected you, if we've ever helped you, if we got you like if we got you through a rough patch in one of the games, if you heard some breaking news that you really remember, if you just like watching me flail about like aimlessly on the live stream, let us know. Like that's 100th episode type stuff, right?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Jess, thank you for those biddies.
They're so close to 100,000.
Yep, they're gonna hit 100,000. And you know what? Huge shout out to Twitch for their. We're talking about Stack Up today, but I want to say like Twitch is doing something really awesome with their charity bits right now, and almost 100,000 raised for Extra Life. Well done, Twitch. Well done, Twitchers. What do we call ourselves? People that Twitch, Twitchers, Twitchies, Twitchites, Twooches. Somebody stop me.
I just say streamers. But hey, I think we have some food to talk about.
We should talk about meat and potatoes.
I didn't know we were going to be talking about food. That's not fair.
Skatch, why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Who's the man behind the face, behind the Twitter, inside of an enigma wrapped in a riddle? Who are you?
In a box.
So what you want about me, not about Stack Up right now?
Well, I want to hear about you. No, I want to hear a little bit about Skatch, who you is.
Well, as all ogres, I sprang forth from a mud pit, about 40 years ago. I don't know, one of those things, drifting aimlessly. About 5 years ago, I decided to get pretty serious in making online content. I actually did an in-character show in the video game Defiance, where I played Sam Skatch, a fictionalized version of myself, kind of a bit exaggerated. He was an E-Rep propagandist. The E-Rep in that game is kind of sort of the evil empire, right? And I was preaching the words, the E-Rep is going to come to California and make everything better, and all you dirt farmers will be raised up. But right now, you're just ignorant, pig farmers and don't know no better. And that's all right. When E-Rep comes, I'll make you better. And I followed along with the game's storyline and the TV show storyline for a while there. And then the game kind of went, there was issues. A lot of the people I knew who worked on it left. And I kind of floated around, decided I wanted to pursue more serious work. I had done some interviews of the guys over at Tryon. Matt Everett, Sledgehammer 70, he's over at EA now. Lance James, he works at Versus Evil, a couple of those guys, and Tony Garcia, he was a little guy on Defiance and EverQuest. And I went from doing that to kind of like, hey, I really like this, and we spun out into WASD Radio, which was just sort of exactly what you guys are doing, but with a video game developer interview in the middle of it, right? And we talk about how video games got made. And after doing that for about a year or so at a convention, I met Steve about a year prior, and they were looking for a media guy, and there I am, man.
That's awesome.
I spent a year working the Kickstarter angle. I got 5 Kickstarters funded in a year, working their social media and stuff like that. So, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. Learning what I do now.
Right on. Now, what is it that you do now? I know that you work for Stack Up, but I'm somewhat confused. What is it that you do, Skatch?
All right, so if you've read, watched, or looked at something that came from Stack Up, it probably went through my hands, whether that's a newsletter, whether that's a tweet, a Facebook post, a video on YouTube, an article on the website, even the cards we hand out and stuff like that. I overlook all that stuff. So, while I may not get down and gritty with the printing, I may step in and handle some of the copy. I may, on Twitter, that's pretty much all me. Every now and again, the boss chimes in, that's good. You want to get an organic following going on over there. So it's always good to have that heart-to-heart type stuff come out, and he can handle that a lot better than I can, who's doing it more from a marketing perspective. But yeah, man, if you've read about it and it says Stack Up on it, chances are I was behind it at some point. Right on.
Now, I have, I guess, one more kind of more personal question before we dive entirely into Stack Up, and then I'm gonna let T take this over because she's much better at interviews because I'm rambling. You'd think after 99 we'd have this somewhat under control, and we don't. No, but one of the things that I think I'd like to know is why Stack Up? Why?
All right.
Why does Stack Up mean something to you?
So when I first started doing WASD, we were obviously looking for a charity to support, and we tried a couple, did a couple of events for other charities, and just sort of felt like wheels in a cog. We felt like we were doing something good, but we wanted to interact. We wanted to be impactful with what we were doing, and we met Steve Machuga, the founder of Stack Up, at the very first PAX West, and man, he took our little group and just sort of let us tag along. And right around about a year or so before that, actually through the game World of Warcraft, my guild leader came to me one time. We were having a conversation after a raid, just hanging out, right? And man, he got real serious on me. And he's like, Cal is what I went by in the game. My character was Calumet. So he's like, Cal, I'm a murderer, man. I've killed people. And he starts kind of losing it over his military service. And I didn't know what to do or what to say. So I just, told him, what I could do best. In my mind, I felt he was a good person. I don't know what happened. I don't want to know what happened, but, I think you're a great guy. Why don't we just, it was sort of like, why don't we just go run some dungeons and kind of take our mind off of this? And that's what we did for like the next 6 hours. And he seemed to, get a little bit better after that. But I mean, that sort of all clicked back to that moment, and friends that went and served after 9/11. I was right around that age. I got married right before it happened, but all of my single buddies all went over and served and everything like that. So I was like, hell yeah. The number one thing everybody told me was, man, how when you're not doing anything, when you're not on alert, when you're not waiting for something to blow up, there's a lot of downtime. And I'm like, yeah, the idea of getting gaming over there, who hasn't been there, where something's kind of sucky and you just can't wait to get home and play that game you've been thinking about all day to kind of get away from it all. So if we do that in our regular day-to-day lives, I mean, of course it's going to help the troops, right?
Oh yeah. That's and I honestly I didn't know the answer to that question, so I kind of selfishly asked that. That was a beautiful story. P?
Yes. Okay. So I have tons to talk about because I always do. Let's talk. Of course, you're here to talk Stack Up, but I want to start off with something. I don't want to say lighter, but something because last show we kind of did some weird stuff. Let's talk conventions a little bit. So obviously, pre-show we talked about you've been to PAX West.
Mm-hmm.
Do you would know that you handle a lot of the marketing items we see as far as physical ones, but do you go to a lot of these conventions?
Oh yeah, I actually work with a close friend of mine, Chris Clue Miller, Clueless Creations. He's my camera guy. And yeah, man, not only do we do the interviews with game developers, we like to think of ourselves kind of a little bit as embedded with Stack Up as we capture the Air Assault's adventure as well and share that with you guys. You can see a lot of the videos on our YouTube about that where we are sharing their adventure of the convention and kind of letting you see the convention through their eyes.
And I guess Air Assaults, that's something that I hear a lot about. Do you personally have a lot of involvement in setting those up, or are you just kind of their video, like doing the through their eyes aspect of it? What's your kind of role in that?
Yeah, no, we have our veteran coordinator, Dave Krause, who goes through all the applications, everything like that, and kind of seeks out the best candidates for any particular trip. Depending on what we can do. Like for instance, PAX West, we were going for big Destiny fans because they know they have a presence there. Yep. We went to San Diego Comic-Con. We got two vets that were actually friends, but they were really big comic book nerds, right? So that they would, mean something to them. I mean, obviously, we were trying to match our candidates with the convention we're going to, and Dave does a great job doing that. I just get to tag along and share their story.
That's awesome. And so you'll be at TwitchCon then?
I should, yeah. I mean, all signs point to yes.
And you're going with Stack Up then?
Of course, yeah. You'll see me in the red shirt.
How many do you hit up all the conventions? Do you guys kind of rotate out? I don't know if you're like West Coast.
Yeah, it's all the PAXs. Twitch. San Diego Comic-Con was new for us this year, but we may add new Comic-Cons because that worked out really well. So it's kind of, exploring where we're going to take it. Like I said, it's been all the PAXs, E3 and TwitchCon's been kind of our staple. That's our meat and potatoes. But from there on out, it's trying to figure out which cons work best. I know there's some rumblings. Do we do Phoenix Comic-Con? Do we do New York Comic-Con? Do we want to branch out more into that? Is there other gaming conventions we can go to?
Yep.
That's all future stuff, you guys.
And I will say, to maybe I don't. So we all go. There's 5 staff members right now. And we will go to the conventions that make sense for us to be at. So we don't necessarily all go to all of them. For example, E3, I probably won't do E3. Like there's a little reason for my little sliver of work to do E3. I know Skatch didn't do, was it South last year? There's one of them that I was at that you weren't. Guardian Con.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't do Guardian Con.
right.
So that's one of the. I mentioned that to say that we're very picky about who and how we send to each convention. Make sure it all makes sense for us to be there.
Gotcha. No, that was kind of how my question was. I didn't know, like, because you're in Florida, so something like in Oregon that's not as big as a PAX might not make sense to send you to. Yeah, that was my probing question there. So back to PAX. When you go, obviously, you mentioned you do interviews with devs. Do you guys, I don't want to say get special, but do you guys get some opportunities because of Stack Up that maybe others wouldn't in your position?
Well, we actually actively work towards providing the aerosols a VIP experience. Now, I very rarely, I'll be honest, I very rarely get in there and try and play games with these guys. I'm there to tell their stories. Could I? Yes. I could easily say, hey, can I jump in and play too? And that wouldn't be a problem. And sometimes I've done that if it's a game I'm particularly interested in, or we're doing media with the game as well, because we might be doing that too, where it's like, all right, we have the aerosols here playing the game, but I also want to do an interview with your game devs and show off some of your gameplay. But for the most part, it's getting in there and getting these guys special treatment, and it's respecting what a game dev's doing for you. A prime example is Fortnite. I set up a thing. Can I have my vets come up here and play a game all together? And they're like, how many do you have? And I said 4. It was a lot easier to get 4 guys in there than it was if I would have brought like 8 guys and a staff and all that up there to try and play the game. So no, you want to be respectful of their time and things like that. And that's what it is. It's number one, it's about the veterans we bring out there.
Perfect. And that was going to be my next question. When you guys go to these conventions, then we were talking about this. You guys have your things you do. You go to your parties and stuff like that. But during convention, it's 100% the aerosols, the vets, getting them the best experience.
And even Cuddles will tell you this. The party list is like, all right, the aerosols go first. For instance, I had an opportunity to go to Twitch, the Twitch party at PAX West. I've never been to a PAX West Twitch party, or no, I think it was there last year, but it was a little more open. This was an exclusive party. Unfortunately, we only got 2 invites, so we couldn't get our aerosols in there. So it was like, all right, we're gonna have Cuddles go, and we're gonna have myself go and kind of represent the Twitch angle there. But yeah, no, most of the time we get the aerosols in first. If we can get a couple of staff members in, great. If not, staff know how to have their own fun. We know that we're there to work. You know what I mean? Yep. If we get into a couple of these things and we can, have some fun alongside the aerosols, great. It's always awesome to talk to industry veterans after hours. That's a lot of time where you can make some of the best partnerships is after work, as it were. But, it's all, again, I come back to it's all about the veterans, as long as they're taken care of first, Yeah.
And with that, like we all have, a lot of us have been around or involved in this industry on our own. So yeah, that big party, it's how do we get the aerosols in? And then a lot of us, for example, I had the Frontier party one night at PAX West. The aerosols they were like Elite Dangerous. What is that? Because they were all like Destiny, yeah. So I went over to the Frontier party. Like it's all about them and their experience, and then he said it. I'm talking too much.
It's fine. That's what you do. I love it.
Sober for podcasts.
Don't smoke because it's bad for you. So I got to put that out
PSA. There. Before I switch screens to talk about Stack Up, my questions with those, do you have anything else about conventions? It sounds like it really is for the veterans. It's great. You guys get to show their experience to everyone to show why this is happening, why you guys do that. But do you have anything else, I guess, to add? Either of you, Cuddles, you can comment on this too.
All I can say is I've gone now at this point. I've gone to a lot of conventions. I mean, I've been at every PAX South there has been since they started doing Souths, and every time, because of the veterans, it's a whole new experience. Being able to see the convention through their eyes. In a lot of cases, these guys might not be able to make it out there on their own. A good fine example is Heath Miller we brought out to E3 from here out in Pennsylvania. He's not in a position to make that trip on his own. And to be able to give that back and see this industry through their eyes, through the eyes of a fan again. And then on top of it, some of the cool stuff we're able to pull off. I'm reminded of San Diego Comic-Con and seeing the aerosols in front of Stan Lee. I mean, there's no way. That's just magic. You know what I mean? And, to be able to give back in some small way and help share their story, I'm just glad to be a part of that.
That's awesome. I've never been to a convention. So from someone who hasn't gone, to be able to see there and watch you guys see these booths every year. You guys kind of know, like Cuddle says, he's like, oh, hey, that's Mark. He has the same stuff he had at East. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Yeah.
But for them to be that's kind of, I guess, person I am, to be able to see that excitement through someone else's eyes. It just does the heart fluttery thing.
I think it helps me. I don't know about Cuddles, but it helps me from becoming cynical. Like you mentioned that, it's very easy to go, oh, look, that's the same booth from West, or that's the same booth from South. But when that aerosol hasn't seen that booth before and they get really excited to see that display, you're like, oh yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, I think I have a moment, and it's usually walking around with another industry friend, Scott's buddy, that usually travels with him. He was my guy that I was walking around with at and it was either East or South. They all kind of come together, and I had that moment, and I was just like, dude, do you just get cynical about all this? He's like, yeah, you kind of do. And we had a little chat about it, and I walked over, and exactly what Skatch said. I walked over to the Aerosols getting to play Dauntless and seeing the look on their faces. The few minutes that we got to spend with Dauntless and seeing Mary Wonder Nubs Teague busting out the toes and playing Dauntless and just having the time of her life. Those are the little moments that that make conventions great for me now.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so we're going to switch gears. And conventions will probably come up again, which is fine. Let's talk Stack Up itself. So you've been with them for a while now. Throughout the years, would you say that, I don't want to say focus, but the way that you guys approach your mission has changed? Have you guys stayed pretty true to who you are? How has Stack Up basically kind of developed as time has gone on?
I would say it's staying true to that mission. One of the things about Stack Up is that it is gaming first, and then splintering off of that. Well, we may have added some things. Cuddles just got to participate in a fledgling program with the PC, right? Trying to get PCs to bed. That's kind of new. The Comic-Cons, that's kind of new. But it all comes back to gaming and staying true to gaming. That's how we want to help veterans.
Nice. So we're sticking with gaming. Then you guys are adding things, kind of testing waters, seeing how that goes. Throughout the years, would you say that you've ever, and you can choose not to answer this, have you ever just taken a step back and wanted to do something different? Or are you 100% Stack Up is you? This is who you're going to be. You're proud to put your name behind it. You've never gotten worn out or like, God, this is way too much.
Well, I can't say that there's never been a burnout. I mean, you get around the call to arms. I mean, unfortunately, the downside of a charity is you're always, you have to function, to be able to do the cool stuff we do for veterans, to send out supply crates and all that stuff. We have to raise funds. You get around our call to arms coming up here in Veterans Day or in May as well. It gets rough. And then you have conventions around that. I mean, you talk about a travel schedule. We did PAX West. We're doing TwitchCon. We come right back from TwitchCon. We hit into call to arms and we're going, we're running into it. And yeah, you get a little bit burnt out, but I think we all, take time to take care of ourselves. We have a pretty open leadership. If you need to get your work done, get your work done. But if you need to step back and go, I need a breather, that ain't a problem. That's kind of the way this industry works to a certain extent. We have our own version of crunch, I'd call it, I guess, right? Where it's like you're just going, and yeah, it gets a little rough. But, at the end of the day, I think you have that kind of stuff at any job. And no matter what, I like what I'm doing. And then it has the extra cherry on top of being beneficial to others. You're helping somebody. Everything we do benefits Stack Up. So even if you're kind of like, oh, I don't feel like doing that, and you're like, well, the veterans don't feel like doing it either, man. Get up and go do your work.
That is very true.
Go
on.
Can I just had something happen right before PAX. And I want to, because you mentioned burnout, and I don't think that I've shared this story on the show. And so we just did the fledgling program, provided a computer to a great guy. Now this was all to give you a little bit of background behind the scenes. This was all talked about like very quickly. So it came about that I was receiving the computer parts the day before I was to get on a 4 a.m. flight to go to PAX and then work 18, 19-hour days at PAX. I was already tired. I was a little grumpy. I was upset that it kind of came about that way. And I was really grumpy about it. I think I even vented to Skatch. And about halfway through building the PC, it just dawned on me. And the light went off. And I realized that I was building a PC to give to a quadriplegic Marine. And there is no way that I could actually be in a shit mood about that. And I'm very proud of the mission that we do and very passionate about it. And actually kind of feel a little ashamed, but I tell that story to say we're human, we're people. Do we get burnt out, pissed off, and upset? Yeah, we do. But I think at the end of the day, we all of us thoroughly and wholeheartedly believe in our mission. And I mean, how do you not feel good about what we do? There was a possibility we ended up making different arrangements. But earlier today, in fact, I was going to be hand delivering a PS4 to a triple amputee. We ended up doing that a little bit different, but that would have been like 8 hours in the car for me today. But I was like, yeah, give it to me. Let's do this. Are you kidding me? Like, just the feels of that. Like I was more than happy to do it. And yeah, so burnout happens. It does. We work our asses off. But I think our all of our honest belief in what we do makes it worth it every day. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're like I said, this is something I'm interviewing him, but you get to add on too because you're a part of this. I could have thousands of questions about Stack Up and what you guys do, but I do want to talk a little bit. Volunteers, I think, are a big part of what Stack Up is as well. Volunteers help streamings and things like that. If people want to get involved in this organization, is there a way to? How should they go about that?
Well, luckily, there's a real easy way to go about it by going to our website. Go to stackup.org, and there's a How to Help section, and there's a section right for individuals, how they can get involved. One of the easiest ways we have to get involved, well, I don't know if it's one of the easiest, but I think it's one of the cooler ways to get involved, is our offline component called the Stacks. This is our local group. Cuddles was talking about this today, doing a Stack meetup. This is our local group of volunteers that get together, do events in their town, everything from volunteer events to just getting together and hanging out and maybe going to the movies and touching in with everybody or touching base with everybody just to make sure everybody's doing well. So we have a local Stack here in Pittsburgh. We've done everything from marching in parades to helping with our local stand-up where they help vets with various services. We've gone down there and cleaned up after that. To, we did an incline plane trip. We just rode the incline plane up the mountain and had pizza. Anything to get people together, get them out in the community supporting veterans. Definitely check out the Stacks. And then, all of our programs, whether you want to stream, whether you want to write content, make YouTube content, there's ways you can get involved doing all of that on the website. And we're always glad to have new volunteers. But it kind of, it's one of those things, you value people's times so much, but volunteer, like for us, is so important because we are very small. As Cuddle said, there's only 5 staff members. We're very lean. So I rely, like the content side, I rely on our volunteer writers. I can't write all that on my own. Our Stacks program, we rely on them to do exactly what Cuddles was talking about, deliver, whether it's PlayStations or the Rigs for Vet programs or help out at conventions. These are ways you can get involved.
Nice. So definitely an organization where it sounds like there's something that anyone can do, whether it's just giving money. Everyone loves that. Or if you want to be a little bit more involved, helping out.
Money always helps. We
Money
never
always
turn down
helps.
the money. You can give us the money, but we'll take your time. If you got a skill, something you want to add to it, we'd love to talk to you.
Anything to add, Cuddles? You look like you want to say something.
No, I'm good. He did a wonderful job with that.
All right. Is there anything for Stack Up Future that you guys are maybe looking at doing that would be adding on to what you're doing? You talked about the Comic-Con you just went to.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing right now is identifying exactly what gaming means. All of us at the Stack Up HQ have kind of been bit by the role-playing Dungeons and Dragons bug, the tabletop gaming, and kind of maybe seeing how we can support troops through that avenue as well. I know we're going to be sending out a small, kind of talking, kind of all of us going out on our own dime to check out PAX Unplugged, just to sort of see, is that going to be something that Stack Up can do? Can we bring veterans there? Will they enjoy it? Just an exploratory mission and see what's going on out there. Things like that, just sort of seeing what other ways can we support veterans through gaming, and what does gaming mean?
Nice. I know one thing, whenever I think Stack Up or we talk about Stack Up, I always think the U.S., and that's just, I think all three of us are from the U.S., so it's probably just a safe assumption. We have a question in the chat. Are you guys outside of the U.S. for starters?
Oh, yeah.
You are? Okay. I guess what do you guys do outside of the United States? Is it just like U.S., like where U.S. troops are, things like that? What all happens in that aspect?
Well, I mean, obviously we've done supply crates that have gone all over the world, but we have, speaking of our stacks program, we have stacks starting to spring up all over the world. Actually, I'm pulling up the list here just so I'm staying factual, but we got a couple of stacks over in Australia, New Zealand. We got a stack, I know it's Hawaii, it's still U.S., but we got a stack in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
We got a stack in Tel Aviv, Israel. We got a stack in Dublin, Ireland. We got a stack over there in the U.K. or in Scotland. So a couple of smattering through Canada and things like that. So we are definitely getting worldwide. And we support U.S., NATO allies, which is, UK, Canada, and then Australian and New Zealand veterans. So if you guys, if you're an Aussie looking for support, you want to get a supply crate, or, you're interested in checking out some of our other programs, by all means, check out our website, stackup.org, and look at our programs and see what kind of fits your needs.
So Skatch gave you the very media guy, like perfect company tagline. I'm gonna expound on that a little bit and probably get in trouble. If you're from anywhere, not just U.S., Australia, New Zealand, or NATO forces, if you're not shooting at us and you need some help, feel free to reach out. That's not a promise, but reach out. We're here to help veterans of all. Wow, I evidently went so far off the boat. Skatch actually left.
Did I leave?
Yeah, your video went down.
I did not mean to do that.
Okay, I was like, if you really did step on toes, Cuddles, we have to end this.
I think I just got fired.
No.
You're back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
You're fine.
I didn't panic for a second. I was like, Cuddles, you've offended a guest so bad they left. That hasn't happened yet.
Boy, screw you guys. I'm out.
Oh. But yeah, our mission is to help all veterans. Again, provided they're not shooting at us. I know we actually had our first. I don't know who's part of NATO, but I know we have a stack in Scotland. I know we have an Israeli Defense Force focused stack. Like we're here to help vets across the world. We're not picky about them being in the U.S.
Now, I could add, again, I have tons of questions about Stack Up. We could go into tons of details, but you've had a busy week, and I don't want to keep you too long, so I will ask my typical, do you have anything you want to add about Stack Up? Any stories, any last-minute comments, things maybe I didn't ask, didn't cover? Anything else that you would like to comment about this amazing organization?
I would just say, a lot of people will ask and they give us the whole, why gaming? How can gaming help? And if you're ever wondering, like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this with video games, man? Take a look at some of those videos on our YouTube. Let our air assaults, let our veterans, our supply crates tell you what gaming means to them and how much it matters. A lot of people forget how simple something like gaming is and how much of a difference it can make. A personal anecdote story here. One of our air assaults, I'm not even going to mention names, but mentioned the gaming community that basically, like he was done, and the gaming community saved his life. They were calling, hey, if you don't want to play, you just come on and let us know you're okay. They were checking up on him. They were looking out for him. And because of that gaming community, it literally saved his life. And I look at things like that. We had another veteran who was addicted to some opiates. And when he got out of treatment, rather than spending his money on drugs, he spent his money on PlayStation 3 games. And PlayStation helped him stay clean. I mean, it makes a difference. It's more than just pixels bouncing around on the screen. There's a voice at the end of the monitor. And people know that now. They look at it for community, and it matters. It makes a difference.
Now, before I let Cuddles answer this question, because I know he's going to have things to add, we have talked with Stack Up before. In March, we did a segment of episodes, episode 83, guys. If this is your first time joining us, if you haven't joined us, if you've joined us since 83, we actually had two people, veterans who came on and talked about how Stack Up has affected them. It's a little bit of an emotional episode. I think I cried during it for sure. Episode 83, Stack Up Dave and Joe is what it's titled. But if you have more questions about Stack Up, other than the business side, which I'm so glad we have these two guys on to talk about that, if you want to see it from a different perspective, episode 83 of our show is a great one to go watch. And like Uniform Gaming said, it really can save lives, and we talked about it on that episode. So a little different perspective. If you want to know more about this organization, I'm sure there's a tons of other podcasts that Stack Up's on, but this is our podcast. Cuddles, do you have anything to add?
No, I'm good. Like Skatch has had all the things. Although we do, we have a little event coming up in November. Like, have you?
Just a small one.
Yeah,
just a little one.
We have something. What is that? And how do people participate? What is it all about?
When what is that? To hide your kids, hide your girl. We got a big thing coming up in Veterans Day. Hey, no, call to arms, baby. Veterans Day weekend and the makeup weekend the following weekend. Call to arms. We are looking for every streamer in the world to come out, stack up, help us raise money for the troops so we can keep doing awesome things. So we can keep doing all the conventions. So we can keep doing all the supply crates. So we can keep helping veterans in our local community through the Stacks program. We need as many. Tell everyone about Stack Up. Send them over there. Tell them to look up Call to Arms. We have a handy guide over there. Everything you need to know about Call to Arms. If you look under Help, it'll say Fundraise for us, and it'll give you the link there. But we, let all of your streamer friends know they should be streaming for Stack Up during Veterans Day.
How
was that?
All right, and you might have just said this. I got distracted by a message. How would one sign up to stream on that day?
Go to the website, stackup.org, look under How to Help, and you're going to see Fundraise for us.
Perfect.
No,
You're streaming.
do want to add something to that. The vast majority of the U.S. American cash dollars that we raise, or a large percentage of it, does come through streaming. Does come through these Call to Arms that we do twice a year.
Amen. Yep.
And we're focused very much on people streaming. However, if you're sitting there and going, I'm not a streamer and I want to help, you have two options. Go find a streamer that you know, love, and trust, and send them my way if they're not already doing a Call to Arms stream. I would love to talk to them. That is my portion of Stack Up, is recruitment and retention of a lot of the amazing people that support us during these Call to Arms. Or find a... you have more than two. I said two. We're not going with that. I'm bad at math. You can donate to one of these streamers. Or, guys, I'm not even kidding. start your own call to arms. Do something on Facebook. Go out in your local community. There are you don't necessarily have to be a streamer to raise money for us. And guys, legitimately, all like every single dollar helps. I know that charities. I know that you hear that. But it's really true. Every dollar, every donation that we get coming in, 91% of our donations go directly to mission. I don't know. I will not talk about any specific charity, but go out and Google some big charities and see what their percentage is. 91% is phenomenal. But
We run awfully lean, man.
yeah, there is 5 of us. And I will say, not a one of us is buying a boat this year. I will put it that way. Nobody's buying a boat, and I don't think I'm getting a house with a pool either. That we are extremely lean, and we're very focused on everything that we can do to get every single dollar to veterans. Yeah.
All right. I think that's all I have. Cuddles, do you have anything to add? Anything I'm missing?
Sketch, you got anything else you want to talk about? Call to arms.
No, just get signed up, man. If you want to stream, you want to help out, get signed up. If you want to get involved other ways, go to our website, poke around. There's all kind of links that tell you how you can get involved and how you can help make a difference. That's the big thing, man. Get involved. Go over to our Discord, talk to some people, see how you can help make a difference. You'd be amazed how little you can do to help somebody. I mean, a good example is I got a message from one of the aerosols that was like, really excited to meet me. And I'm like, I'm not sure why this guy's excited to meet me. But apparently something I said or, whatever, meant something to him. And hey, great. I'm glad I could have been that guy.
That's awesome.
And you got to remember, that's what's great about our community. It's positive. You can be helping somebody just by being yourself over there and being a positive influence on the community.
Yep. And one of those air assaults, we've actually had 2 from this community, or that have not directly because they were part of my community, but guys that have hung out here and have ended up being air assaults. The latest one was Hephaestus. For those that hang out in my Twitch channel, I'm sure you've seen Hephaestus pop in, hang out a little bit.
Raspberry
Rich. That's never gonna die, Hephaestus. I'm sorry. But no, he was one of the air assaults, and getting to spend some time with him, getting to learn a little bit more with him, and just being able to see that guy having a great time. It was really and truly incredible. These air assaults start out as strangers that we know and we respect for their service. By the end of the weekend, they're generally like, we're all great friends. I still talk to and hang out and game with some of the air assaults from past cons. Actually, Mary and Jimmy. Wonder Nubs and Jimmy Crib. I'm still playing games with them, still hanging out with their chat, and they were PAX South last year. It was a while ago, but they've been great friends. So it's a really cool thing. We got a really big event coming up with Call to Arms, and if anybody is interested in helping in any form or fashion, reach out. We'll have a link to several places on the Stack Up website, or you guys can get a hold of me in all the places. But I think this is going to bring us to time for shout outs. Sketch, got anybody you want to holler at over the internet verse?
I love you, Mom. I'm going to Disney World. What? No. I guess my regular crew of idiots that helps me out at cons, man. Call me Giant, Clue Miller, yourself, Cuddles. The Roberto on our media team, all of our writers over there, and everybody at Stack Up, man. They're all everybody's great. And how about a shout out to Jazzaloo? There you go.
Aw.
T, what about you?
Yeah, shout out to so I've been doing the streaming thing. We talked about last show. I did the affiliate thing. So shout out to those of you who are on this crazy journey with me. Huge shout out to Kalani and Duke, because as I'm very slowly getting into Elite. They are holding my hand very nicely and being quite patient with me. Cuddles, Cuddle Wife, PUBG Nights, and Cuddles, thank you for your Elite insights too. That is a very, very learning cliff. It is not a curb; it's a cliff. It's big.
Well, your first mistake is following Cuddles.
That's what I've been told. After some of the clips that I have now seen, I'm surprised I am doing as well as I am. But no, you're a great teacher, hon. Shout out to that, and then real quick before I let you do your shout outs, shout out to Cuddles, guys. We're gonna hit episode 100, and I want to talk about that real quick. I know I said at the end of the show, but we're gonna talk about it real quick again. We're reaching episode 100. 99 plus 1 is 100. We've all mapped that. We've talked about that in the chat. We're going to do an 8-hour stream. We're starting at our usual 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be 7 p.m. Pacific, and that's about all the time that I do for you guys. Figure out your own based off of that. And 8 hours of us. We might bring people in. We're going to PUBG, of course, because that's life right now. We're going to Elite Dangerous. We'll probably do some sort of Blizzard game since we are a Blizzard podcast. But yeah, just come hang out with us. If you have words of wisdom, of stories that you've told, of things that we've done that you maybe liked, let us know, because we want to know that you like us. We worry that no one here likes us. But yes, put that in the questions of the show for next week. We are so excited to hit episode 100, and I have a sneaky surprise for Cuddles. So come find out what his sneaky surprise is.
I'm
all right.
quite scared.
You can just now.
All right, for me, shout outs. First and foremost, to Skatch. Thank you so much for not just coming on tonight, but everything that you've done, not just for Stack Up, but for me over the last year and a half, 2 years that this crazy ride's been going on.
Gonna get all emotional up in here.
Sketch started out as this rather tall, slightly large gentleman that was totally unconscious of my personal space. And he's become one of my best friends. We work together. We're in Discord nearly every day. It's what I do with Stack Up feels really good on its own, but it feels really great to be doing it with the people that we're doing it with. The entire team is wonderful, but Skatch especially, and Clue. Clue's a pretty cool cat. He is my Stack Up work wife.
Aww.
Yeah, that's a thing. Also, huge shout out to Big Cheese for the awesome host during the show. Shout out to Cuddle Wife for being awesome, for supporting what I do, just being an amazing person. Shout out to T, my BFF, for all the I feel like we've gotten in a lot of PUBG lately, and that's been really cool.
Yeah.
And just shout out to everybody that's supported this show over the last 99 episodes. I can remember sitting down and recording episode 0, and I feel like I said something about, well, hey, if you're listening to this, you're probably my mom. So hi, Mom. And to come from there to where we are now, 100 episodes in, and just I thank you guys for all your support and all your love. I can't wait to record episode 100. We'll be doing some pretty cool stuff. But this brings us to that important time where, guys, we get down on our virtual knees, and we beg and we plead for you guys to leave those all-important 5-star iTunes reviews. That's right. Leave 5 stars for the Game Case Show, 2 stars for the Interns Get One Glock, a Steve Zissou focused podcast. It's been going for 3 years now. I don't know what they're still that movie was 2 hours long. But leave them 2 stars. Sketch, where can people find you on the interwebs?
At Sam Skatch on Twitter. That's probably the best place. Or go over to stackup.org Discord, which you can probably find on our Twitter or on our website, and find me on there as Sketch.
Yep, and you can find that Discord as well at discord.gg/stackup.org, spelled all the way out. I'm dropping a link in chat, and it will, of course, be in the show notes for those listening at home. I think that does it. T, you got anything else?
Nope, episode 100, guys. I know this episode was all about Stack Up, but episode 100 is next week, guys. We're very, very excited to.
I have one last thing for those that have not hit the stop button yet. This is going to be a weird, random, and rather vague ask. If you have a contact at Blizzard Entertainment, I would like to speak to them. If you are a Blizzard employee with fantastic hair that happens to catch this episode, I would like to speak to you. What
if they just have mediocre hair?
No, both of the people that I'm thinking about both have fabulous hair. If you have mediocre hair and you listen to the podcast, I'd like to hear from you too. But no, specifically anyone attached to or has a connection with Blizzard, I have something that I'm working on, something that's going to be hopefully very special. And I've ran into a couple brick walls. So I normally don't do things like this, but I do want to pass that out. Uniform, if you got somebody at IGN, I'd love to talk to them anyway. I love IGN. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Skatch, T, say bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
I'm just going to leave it on. We're not going to leave until Skatch stops saying bye.
Bye.
Okay,
bye.
Thank you for listening to The Game Case Show. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. You can find Cuddles at The Game Case, Tourarts at Tourarts, and you can find the show at The Game Case Show. Join us live Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thegamecase. Archived episodes are available at youtube.com/thegamecase. The theme music for the show is Celtic Impulse by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com and is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0.